Hi wrestling fans, thanks for clicking on the dreaded Thanks for clicking on the dreaded D-Rose report. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, prices are going up again on WWE's pay-per-views. Since WWE started increasing the pay-per-view prices with the Royal Rumble back in January, they haven't suffered any significant hits on pay-per-view buys, so it hasn't gone down any. I don't know if they've increased now. According to last year, some of them went down, some of them went up. They were kind of balanced out to where it hadn't changed any, but a little old measly $5 on all the pay-per-views match, that ends up with a heck of an extra profit. Oh, anyway, because WWE in general wasn't happy with this past Hall of Fame ceremony, which I really wasn't either. I thought it was kind of drab and no big star, no, I don't know, it just wasn't too exciting at all for me. Anyway, they've been working on next year's event in advance. Names currently being discussed includes, they got to get you the, a good draw in there, which they're looking at Bill Goldberg, Ron Simmons, Lex Luger, and the Steiner brothers. Sting has been talked about, and he's been talked about the last few years, but with his status with TNA playing a factor in that, they wouldn't let him come over even if he wanted to be in the Hall of Fame from TNA. So anyway, probably it will never happen, but two people in the company brought up this name for the Hall of Fame, and would probably be a big draw. Be really interesting too. Not only Goldberg and Ron Simmons, that's pretty much a lock for next year. But some people want to see Ted Turner in the Hall of Fame. I think it'd be good. It'd be a good draw. They'd have a good turnout on the ratings on that. Jeff Hardy, Tommy Dreamer, the Boogeyman. Haven't heard from him for a while. They're going to be appearing in Northeast Wrestling Show, looks like April 23rd, Newburgh, New York. Vince Russo's been talking about how he's so burnt out on booking in TNA. Hey Vince, we know that. You don't have to tell us. Just go somewhere, take a sabbatical or somewhere. Just take off for a while. In addition to Daniels and Nasty Boys and Consequences Creed, TNA also released referee Jamie Tucker recently. New TNA DVD featuring matches from Beer Money and Motor City Machine Gun will be released on May 25th. It's one DVD disc set and with a running time of 180 minutes. I never did catch the name of it. Shawn Michaels' retirement speech from Raw will be a bonus feature on the WrestleMania 26 DVD. Citizens from St. Louis, Missouri received a mailer last week asking them if they wanted the city to put in a bid on a chance to host WrestleMania in 2012. Some stars, by the way, who attended the Hall of Fame that we didn't get to see was Teddy Hart, Carlos Colon, Bobby Heenan, Gene Okerlund, and Danny Spivey. Former WWE star Zach Gowen, remember him? He completed a WWE-sponsored rehab program for pain pill addictions as of March 25th, and now he's staying in a sober living facility and accepting independent bookings. Anyway, the Raw SmackDown crew left this week for WrestleMania Revenge Tour of Europe, which runs from April 7th to the 17th for Raw, and April 8th to the 18th for SmackDown. Next week's Raw, NXT, Superstars, and everything's going to be taped Monday and Tuesday from the O2 Center in London. Neither Vince nor Linda attended the post-WrestleMania party in Phoenix this year. The original report that Linda attended the Hall of Fame may be false, as she was seen arriving at the hotel after the ceremonies with her bags. I wonder if it was Stephanie always runs around with her bags. Wonderful too. Anyway, Linda was at Fan Access on Sunday morning looking at displays of old wrestling gear and chatted with some fans. It's said that Vince may have been hurt taking all the chair shots from Bret Hart, but if he was, he never would sell it or tell anyone. or want anybody to see him walking around hurt. He used to take the chair shots to the head, and most people, real quick, do that to have the chair shot glance off their head. He used to just leave his hands just down there and let, like when him and Shawn Michaels did the ladder match or whatever it was, he took it straight to the skull. He wanted to show everybody that, he's tough. And he is. As noted before, Lance Cade, he was released by WWE again this past week after being rehired late last year. Cade asked to go to rehab shortly after being rehired, and soon as he got out of rehab, they released him again. Oh man. Anyway, Cade said that he had contacted Michael Hayes last August and told him he wanted a spot on SmackDown as a top heel against Undertaker. In a new interview with PWI Insider, Cade was rehired in October. Instead of going on to the main roster and feud with Undertaker, he was nixed and went for FCW a bit. Cade was also told John Laurinaitis he was going to bring him up to the main roster like ECW. Cade was having problems going through painkiller withdrawals, I guess, and led to his addiction to sleeping pills. And he called officials to ask to be put in rehab. Good idea, but man, don't ask to be brought back when you got a problem. Just get the problem over with first. Anyway, Cade finished rehab and says in early March, and Shawn Michaels told him he was done and would never be used as the top guy. This past week he was released. Cade was upset that most of the guys let their problems get even worse for fearing of losing their spot, and when he tried to get help for his problem, he was fired. So he's saying the old damned if you do, damned if you don't. Same way with getting married. People in the media who asked WWE for an interview with Shawn Michaels this past week were told by WWE officials that Shawn is really retired and not doing any interviews. So, he's not. Just stop it. Several top talents in WWE are not happy about Jim Ross being taken off of WrestleMania 26 announce team. Matt Striker's somewhat odd announcing at WWE, which usually was a topic of discussion, and for what it's worth, Striker was being coached to come across the way he did. Not sure the way he did. I seen the thing. I wasn't always too excited about Striker anyway. He's always informative though. Anyway, during WrestleMania 26 in Phoenix, a German news channel filmed a 30-minute documentary on a fascination with pro wrestling and various events throughout the week there. WWE is getting back to the mentality of recruiting actual athletes into the developmental instead of just waiting for guys with the right size and build to be found on the independent scene. And there for a while, Vince never did really care about athletes that train in wrestling in college and high schools and stuff. I don't know why, but now they're going back to the other way. The Georgia Dome in Atlanta might see 2 straight nights of WWE action next year, with WrestleMania 27 confirmed for the Dome, and there's also talk of having the next night's Raw in the same building, scaled down obviously, but next year's Hall of Fame ceremonies will most likely take place at either Phillips Arena or Fox Arena. And there's been people in TNA noting that the similarities between the last 2 years of WCW and the current state of TNA, which we've talked about that for a long time here too. They're starting to compare WCW to TNA. Done that a long time. Anyway, there's been a lot of TNA bookings being rewritten on Mondays as of late also. Hulk Hogan was predicting a 2.0 rating for the March 8th Impact, where he was going to wrestle. They figured a 2.0 was based on the idea that they would do a 1.5 on the first Monday show this year, and not realizing that they did a much lower when it went head to head. So they're overestimating things. I think they're just doing it to make themselves feel good amongst TNA, but. I don't know. I hope they can get over that, get up to a 1.0 at least. Whew. Oh, just tearing them up not to do that. Anyway, I better get off here. I don't know how much time I got left. I've got more time. I'll be back on here. Hey, I got to go.